Welcome everybody to Young Composer Reacts to Death, Flesh and the Power It Holds. I'm in the mood for some metal, okay? I feel restless, there's a thunderstorm coming, so just go. Okay, okay. Well, I see why. Why you recommended that, man. That's all right. First thing I notice is the octave effect. So at the beginning of this, the guitar sounds from the very first notes. It sounds multiple, and I think that's a combination of actual multiple guitars playing and also just effects. So I don't know, it sounds like a whammy pedal, but I think it's more of an octave pedal, but it's the same sort of, effect with a digital reproduction of that same note, but an octave higher. I think that's what it is. And at some point, like a few seconds after those first notes come in, that already sound multiple. There's like a whole fleet of them, to speak in UFO terms. The drums are quite busy straight away. You can tell, they have a double pedal going on. It seems to be in some sort of drop tuning, not super low. I don't think this is, I don't think this is a recent song at all. I think it must be like from the 80s, 90s maybe. I haven't looked at the date. I want to try to guess it by the end of the song. I'll try guessing the key as well. I'll try to do that for every song on the first react. The time is strange. Like it's he keeps changing all the time, and at some point they sort of imply a 6/8, and they sort of get you to start moving in that way, but offbeat kicks and stuff sort of pull you back in, and then it's square again, but with a bunch of kicks everywhere. I think the band Death, I actually heard only the song Voice of the Soul from them a long time ago. I think they actually started the movement of death metal, and you can tell when the vocals come in. That's what's so characteristic of that. The drums are quite impressive because, in the first few seconds / minutes, so many different beats happen, and then they hit you with the blast beat that we hear very often in metal now. But I think at the time it must have been quite the novelty. Okay, sounds like there's about to be one last section here, maybe a verse and some kind of weird stuff again. The how could I qualify those vocals? Well, at some point they sound like they're a pig squeal. You know, this sort of stuff. It's quite skillful in general. You can't really go more than like, you know, a couple hours singing that way without losing your voice for like days, weeks, months. So typically it's used well. It's done well with full scored vocals, and there's plenty of ways to, you know, place your voice to get these sort of weird sounds. But yeah, sounds like there might be some inhale stuff going on. Not sure. This vocal tone is insane, and it must. You know, we have to remember when we hear this stuff that like we know, right? We're used to this sort of thing, but when this came out, it must have been quite a novelty. I want to talk about the harmony of metal for a second. In metal, there's often quite a lot of harmonic tension, and you can achieve that by playing notes that are really close together, like even one semitone close. And the guitar loves this. If you have a guitar, it's really easy to do that because you can just play almost random open strings, and that will always create some sort of tension. And it's a stereotype that, metal guitar parts will always have like an open string going on, but it's the case in that song, it seems, at some point. Or, maybe it's done with an actual crazy stretch on the guitar, but I don't think that's the case. It wouldn't make much sense. So yeah, the guitar is in metal for a reason. It's not only a tone thing, it's just really easy to get that tension going on guitar. The mix is really dry. There's just like reverb on the vocals, but you know, metal is so alien in that sense because it has its own rules harmonically, rhythmically. Like, you don't hear many genres that are so busy in the low end. You don't hear many genres that spam the kick drum that much. And on top of that, you also have the mixing rules. So all of metal, or at least the metal of that era, had a signature sound, and this sort of reminds me of maybe a Metallica album or something, where it's really dry, in your face, not messed with too much, and you're just supposed to headbang. And so the mix is rough to the point where it sounds almost unprofessional, and I think that's also because of the engineers maybe just didn't know what to do with it at the time. The timing is so strange, and it keeps changing, so I'm trying to count it and then it changes. I think there's a section that goes 5 then 7 and repeats that a bunch, and then goes back to 4/4. So it goes like maybe 11/4, 11/8, I don't know, and then back to 4. That guitar solo is quite innovative. If you want to solo, there's only so many ways to sound original, and one of the ways you can sound original is to accelerate and decelerate all the time without necessarily even like playing in time with the rest of the band. That's something John Frusciante talks about a lot and was obsessed with around 2005-6, and it's definitely happening in this solo. I love the bass having its solo spot as well, and like laying down again that 5/7 rhythm. This is the kind of song that must be really difficult to learn. I wonder if there's sheet music or anything like that, or cues to remember it, because if you write a straight 4/4 rock song with like 4 chords, and it's maybe 4 minutes long, you don't even have to write down anything. You just show up to the session, play it a bunch of times, you can make stuff up, and it works out all right. But this, you have to be on top of everything all the time, and it's metal. Those people aren't gonna take sheet music with them on stage. How do they even learn this before the stage process?
A time to begin. It'll take you in. Those rituals. Behold the flesh when the power it holds. It's built you up one way and turns right back down. It's time to begin the end of a time. It'll take you in. Those rituals.
Well, this is ridiculous stuff. I love that section after the chorus that goes again, sort of same idea as the 11 then 4 part. It goes into a weird rhythm and then it goes back to something you would expect a little more. And it's the same thing harmonically. So like the whole chorus is just a bunch of huge chords that are actually, you know, maybe the most harmonic thing that the song contains. And then we go into this thing where it's what I was talking about. It's notes that are really up close together, or intervals like, you know, tritones and that sort of stuff that's supposed to make your skin crawl, and that was like prohibited during the medieval times. And this is just insane music, man. Like in terms of musicianship, it's excellent. I'm gonna try to guess this is like 91. Probably wrong about that. And I think I had an instinct that maybe the drop tuning was just like E flat standard. Might be C sharp, I don't know. But yeah, that's about it for today. See you. I'm so tired. Bye bye.